Khalil, thank you so much for the super chat. You know that we appreciate your contributions, not just financially, but we know that you're always here supporting.
Sure.
What is the likelihood of all the Blue Bloods who have fallen off to a degree returning to prominence, meaning USC, Florida, Florida State, Nebraska, Miami? Will all three Florida schools ever be good at the same time again, Jason?
So I'm going to answer the second part first. I think we all got spoiled here in the state of Florida by that time period because we talk about the 14-year dynasty run of Florida State. You know, you talk about the fact that Miami won 4 national titles over a 9-season period. And even Florida, once they won the SEC for the first time in the 93 season, how they went on a run from about 93 to 2000. I think we all in the state of Florida got spoiled by that run. I don't think it's going to happen to that level again over an extended period of time where you have all three teams over an entire decade being able to play to that standard. I think you'll get a couple. Like I think, and I'll address the first part now. As far as if you want to use those 5, Southern Cal, Florida State, Florida, Nebraska, and Miami, I think all 5 of them have winning seasons this year. I think USC, you know, we'll talk about a little bit more when I give my predictions on September 1st. I think USC will do very good in the Pac-12 this season. I'm willing to give Miami the shadow of the doubt in the ACC and the Coastal Division. I think Nebraska and Florida will do okay in their divisions. I don't think they'll live up to expectations that some have, and I think Florida State will be better than they were. So I think all 5 of them will be better than they have been in the past couple seasons, but I don't think any of them will win a national title this year. So that's that first part. As for the second part, I don't think you will see all 3 be up to that level like you had in the last week of the regular season in 2000 when all 3 were in the top 5. I don't think you'll have that. I think you'll have them maybe top 10, top 15 teams, but I think that's also a time where you're talking about 20 years ago when college football was a much different sport. You didn't have as many teams in what's now the FBS. You had a lot of the players from the state of Florida going to Florida, Florida State, Miami. Now you have them looking at other schools. You have them looking at Alabama's. You have them looking at Clemson's. You have them looking at LSU's and other schools when in the past they would not leave the state of Florida. So all good at the same time, not like we saw 20 years ago. Good, yes. Great, no.
Can I ask you, Jason, when is your part 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7?
What's that?
I was wondering when your next part was, part 3.
I mean,
4,
I could
5,
BS for a whole hour. You know that much.
No, I know.
Come on, we've talked before. We've done this. We did this for 2 hours after we lost 52-10. We can talk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of the time that these topics come in, especially if they're concerning like conference-wide or national-wide topics, I address them on a regular basis through call-in shows and so forth. So I'm talking this type of discussion a lot. And so I'll say it briefly because, again, you can find hours and hours of this kind of discussion in my call-in shows. But I would agree with Jason. From the early 80s until about the year 2000 or the first few years of the 2000 range, you would say basically almost all those seasons, Florida State, and Miami were near the top of college football in that top 10 range, and especially Florida State and Miami, of course. So that's difficult just from the standpoint of the probabilities just are difficult. But I think those 3 have a better chance of doing that going forward. I think that there will be spans of time going forward in the not too distant future that the 3 of them will be maybe not elite, but as Jason said, maybe 2 elite, 2 in the top 5 to 10 in the nation, and somebody really good, 8 and 4, 9 and 3 good, something in that range. The one program that's different than everybody else on that screen that has a huge challenge to get back to where they once were is Nebraska. There are not players in Nebraska to support that program. They have to go thousands of miles away to build most of their program. Sure, there are football players in Iowa and Nebraska that can play, but there aren't the volume and the elite volume that they need to play at that level. They got to go to Texas, they got to go to California, and when they come to Florida, they're not grabbing the top 50 players in the state of Florida. They're grabbing the top 100, 120, and that's not going to get them there. They've got a big challenge on their hands to get where they once were.